let's talk about we go from the B's to the C's. Beat down City.
118-84 win over the Heat to send them packing. Little gentleman sweep.
You know what? That ass whooping was a long time coming for a few reasons. Number one, let's go from the Celtics standpoint, of course. Let's start with that. This was not a passing of the torch in the Eastern Conference. This was a taking of the torch. Now, Ant Edwards admires Kevin Durant, right? Well, he took that torch from Kevin Durant, right? This is what this was for the Celtics. I look at the Heat, hey, from the bubble on. I mean, they were in the finals last year. They took out the Celtics last year. They really, no matter what happens in the regular season, come playoff time, that's the team to beat in the East. They get it done. They get there. We get it. But those days are done. It's over.
Yeah.
I looked at this as it is now the Celtics' time, and we've seen them get to the finals before, but now it's consistent. We are just better than you. We are a better franchise than you, period. Our stars are in their prime. Yours are on the back nine. That's it.
They didn't even have their star.
Well, but you know what?
And you dispose of them, though. They still had Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
They still had Tyler
But
Hero.
George.
They still had those key guys in certain spots across this team. A Caleb Martin who killed you last year in the series, who went atomic and was basically Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
4 for 9, 1 for 5 from 3.
But this is why
I
say it's a couple different ways you can look at this now. So that's the Celtics angle. It's the taking of the torch. From the Heat perspective, I would argue the Jimmy Butler factors actually, the injury works against the Heat in a way. Here's what I mean. As you look at this from the Heat angle, right? This team, my opinion, needs to get younger, more dynamic offensively in a league that is increasingly offensive and younger and more athletic. The Heat are not that. That Heat culture and all that stuff, yeah, that's cool, man, but the NBA is changing now. So I can look at this as the Heat can say, well, Jimmy Butler was hurt. Let's run it back. Everyone's healthy next year. I think that's a mistake. I'm not saying you get rid of Jimmy Butler, George, but what I am saying is you do need a rebuild on the fly, not a complete gut job, HGTV renovation style, but you need to break the score up. And you need to shake it up. You need to roll the dice. Pat Riley needs to pull a Pat Riley here. I don't think that's going to happen because Jimmy Butler got hurt. Does that make sense? It doesn't provide the clarity that the franchise needs to look and say, hey, we need to get more dynamic, younger,
but this
more
was
athletic.
Even a team, remember, at the deadline, go out and get Terry Rozier, looking for that second layer of scoring. Now, I know I'm saying he's old. Jaime Jaquez wasn't healthy towards the end of the season. Tyler Hero, pretty much you know what you get with him. He feels like he's a finished product.
It's not
Good
dynamic.
scorer, exactly, but not a dynamic guy. Bam Adebayo, if he adds a three-point shot to his game, I mean, he has a good jumper. It opens up a lot there, but it comes in. This team has a high floor, very low ceiling. We saw it come through tonight.
Yes.
You know what you're going to get with the Heat. They'll show up in the playoffs. They'll play hard, be obviously well-coached, led by Eric Spoelstra, who's one of the 5 coaches in the NBA I'll trust above all other guys. But
sure.
This is a team, you knew they were flawed all regular season long. Think about that Game 2 loss when the Heat shot 53% from 3. Tonight, 10%. It was just such an anomaly, and everything had to go their way, and they were still trailing at certain points, even shooting, taking, making all those shots from deep. It just comes together. It's good to see the Celtics come out, and you wonder, what would you get with them first full game without Kristaps Porzingis in the playoffs, right? Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White get the scoring started. Brown and White finish, really creating and really carrying the heavy load, both of them with 25 points each. Derek White, again, just from deep, 5 for 10. So efficient, 13 shots, 25 points. Jason Tatum having another game where it comes to him. He opened up like 11 points in the first, early into the second, finished with 16 and 12. But it's a team, sense of urgency, come out with a killer mentality,
yes.
Put your foot on their throat,
they deserve
and just
credit.
Open up that lead and close it out. Just don't even make it be cute with this inferior Heat team. That's what they had to do, and they did it.
They deserve credit for that.
But it's a bad Heat team. And next round, Magic, they can play. It's a series going on with the Cavs. I think it'll be a little tighter.
So
but still,
can the Cavs.
It's this team. What are you going to see when you get into the Eastern Conference Finals?
Listen, both of those teams that you just named, Cavs and Magic, in a lot of ways are the Heat light, right? Like, they play defense. They're tough. They're going to make it a series. They may win a game or two. I mean, maybe you beat the Cavs or the Magic in 6 games. But neither one of those teams should beat the Celtics because the Celtics, just like in this Heat series, are cut above. We saw that last night with the beatdown Central.
What we've seen all season long.
And you said this too. You know, I think they deserve a lot of credit for everything that you laid out there. But I also think the boogeyman aspect too. The Heat have been the boogeyman, Jimmy Butler specifically, to the Celtics. And even though he was hurt, we heard him chirp, and remember the tweet he had photoshopped with him in a Celtics jersey where it's like, don't let us get one. Shut up, right? But the Celtics did not fall into that nonsense. They lost game 2. Everyone in the media, it's me, was not panicked, but pretty ticked off and like, oh, here we go again with this team, you know, playing with their food, blah, blah, blah. Celtics didn't fall for any of that. They were like, look, these guys shot the lights out. Let's just keep playing our game. And in the best of 7, we're gonna be the team. And they were. And I think they deserve a lot of credit for that, for mentally not falling into the trap.
Keep it in mind, I mean, final tonight, 118-84. As I said, even after that game 4 win that felt like a loss because going down against losing Porzingis, their average margin of victory was still 18 points in a win. They go out and just blow that out of the water today. They came out and dominated. The game 2 left a sour taste in the mouth because you see this is still a team that'll come out lay an egg.
Yes.
But it's also the NBA. Sweeps are much harder to come by than people think, right? Unless you're the T-Wolves taking on the Suns, but that's neither here nor there. The Suns, worst team, so talented. But they come out, they respond, and it's, again, you got to have this type of night too. It's what does Derek White do to follow up that 38-point night? Sam Hauser off the bench, 17 points, refines his stroke from deep as well. This is whenever a great player goes down, one of your best, like a Kristaps Porzingis, the guys surrounding him, what do they do? What do they step up and pull through with and gives them that confidence boost? You see it happen tonight with the Celtics team. And the confidence will carry them forward into the postseason. But a guy like we said, even they pull out this win, Drew Holiday, 5 shots, 2 for 4 from deep, 10 points he finished with.
Wasn't aggressive enough for me.
And you know what? But I think he's just going to stay in his role. And we both said Drew Holiday got to be the closer. Obviously didn't have to do it tonight.
Right.
But it's going to be Derek White, who has been a great scorer for this team all season long. He's taken that scoring role over Drew Holiday. Yeah. And we've seen him last year in the playoffs step up. It's going to go the pecking order. And it looks like it's going to be Jaylen Brown, the scorer, Jason Tatum, the playmaker, and obviously can score.
Okay.
And then Derek White to follow that up. That's what's going to be. That's going to be the pecking order. It's the way that JT has played all game long. I still think they go as far as he takes them. But if he lets the guys around him eat early, they find their shot, they find their confidence. But can he turn it on late in the game? And we've seen him shy away from shooting in the fourth quarter. And that's been my worry with Tatum. We saw it happen last year in the playoffs. We've seen it happen in key games where they're blowing leads. Like, where are you going when the light is the brightest? If you get out and get scorching hot to start, that's fine. And then you drop 42 and you get in a win. But against an inferior opponent, it's fine. But when it gets tight, when the light gets bright, Jason Tatum, do you have that dog in you? Do you have that killer in you? And I don't know if he does.